Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Bad International. I'm PJ. First off, we apologize for taking quite a long time in putting up another video, but today we'll be talking about Staccato 2011. If you're interested in Staccato 2011s, we're here to talk about the different models so you would know which one is the right one for you. First off, what is Staccato? Staccato used to be known as STI or Strayer Trip International. It was founded back in 1980 by Virgil Tripp. They started off making parts for 1911s. Around 1990, they made their first firearm, which was the STI Trojan. It was a single stack 1911. So by 1993, they produced a double stack 1911, which they called the 2011. So fun fact, the 2011s that they were putting out back in 1993 were mainly focused on competition shooters. When they were branded to Staccato around 2019, 2020, they started focusing more on duty pistols, focusing more on reliability and, like this one for instance, concealability. And basically when they were branded, they shifted their focus more from competition shooters and the tactical market. Today we have three different Staccato 2011 models for you. The first one is the Staccato CS, and then this one is the Staccato P, and then this one is the Staccato XL that's chambered in 9mm. So the guns here today are all chambered in 9mm. These are all available here locally in the Philippines. You could buy them from Federal Gun Store or here at Tyro Sorda, Steel and Ammo. And you could also buy it from Shooters Depot in Laguna or Zamboanga. There's actually a lot more, but we could only get our hands on these three for now. Let's start off first with the Staccato C2. Now this Staccato C2 is called the Staccato C2 DPO model here in the Philippines. DPO because it has that Dawson Precision optic system here. So the DPO, you could use different optic plates from Dawson Precision if you want to put a red dot on your firearm. Now this one in particular has an Aimpoint Acro P2. If you're more familiar with Glock models, this Staccato C2 is more like a Glock 19 size compact pistol. Now this particular 2011 from Staccato, it's actually very easy to conceal. It's shorter than the usual 2011s, 3.9-inch bull barrel. It's not too short, but it's still long enough to shoot pretty easily. Also, you have a very generous capacity with your magazines. 16 rounds. Now there's only one problem here in the Philippines. Magazines are not all that available. This one in particular, the Gen 2 magazines that come with a gun, can't actually buy them here, so you have to settle with the Gen 1 magazines, which is actually okay considering that these Gen 2 magazines, when they are available here, they go for as much as 14,000 or 15,000 pesos. Basically $300 per magazine. Now these older Gen 1 magazines, I mean, they work fine, perfect for range use. I wouldn't recommend them for concealed carry use. Now these just go for like 6,000 pesos, almost like a lot less than half the price of these Gen 2 magazines. Or if you want extended capacity, you can go with these standard size extended base pad magazines. Now these ones come with the other Staccato models. This one's a 20 rounder extended base pad magazine. It just doesn't sit flush on the firearm. It's a bit exposed, but not all that exposed. Or you could go with these other 18 round magazines. It's just slightly outside the firearm, but still good enough for concealed carry. Now, personally, what we do is we use one of these Gen 2 magazines that sit flush fit. That's our first magazine. Our spare mag is a 20 rounder extended base pad magazine. For this one, we changed out the trigger. It came with a curved trigger from factory. We changed it out to an infinity flat trigger. And then we also added this Dawson Precision magwell on it. And then, like we said earlier, we are using Dawson Precision Aimpoint Acro optic plate on it with an Aimpoint Acro P2. And then we also have this Surefire X300 Turbo on it, since you need a light for concealed carry. This one is the Staccato XL. Now the Staccato XL is more like the usual 2011s from SDI back in the day. Now these 2011s in particular come in 9mm or 40 Smith & Wesson. Now these guns are targeted for competition shooters specifically. Absolutely perfect to run in competition. Flat shooting, the long slide makes it easier to track that front sight when you're going fast in competitions. This Staccato XL, we just changed very few things about it. First off, we changed the flat face trigger, and then we also disabled the grip safety, trying to make it perfect for competition. We put an X300 on it with an anti-matter wing. Absolutely nice little product right here. We're gonna have them available soon in our website. We actually gave this to a bunch of new shooters to try out. They were shooting better when they started shooting with these 2011s. Now these Staccato XL come with these magazines from the gun store. All right, now it comes with 17 round magazines. Comes with two 17-round magazines and then one 20-rounder magazine. Now when you have that 20-rounder, it sits like this, while the 17-rounder sits flush on your firearm, like this. We actually prefer 20-rounder magazines because, you know, the more ammo, the better. You could also use these Gen 1 Staccato magazines. They work fine, but again, you know, I wouldn't recommend it for reliability, since some of those Gen 1 magazines had issues, especially when you're dropping them when they're loaded. You could also buy these substitute magazines. Now this one in particular is a Masterpiece Arms. You could get them from Steel and Ammo or Tyro Sorda. Now one problem with these magazines, they don't have a lock back. It doesn't lock back. However, these magazines are a lot cheaper than the Staccato magazines. Now, these Masterpiece Arms magazines for 2011s, they go for around 8,000 pesos, which is just a bit over half the Staccato magazine. Moving on to the third Staccato model that we have here today. This one is the Staccato P 2011. Now this one in particular doesn't have the DPO cut on it, so it's just iron sights. Now the Staccato P is what you'd call a middle ground between the Staccato C and the Staccato XL. Now the Staccato P, it's still small enough for concealed carry. Other people can pull it off. It's roughly about the size of a G17. It's still long enough for competition use, but these are marketed more towards law enforcement. Now there are various different law enforcement agencies in the US that actually use this. The Texas Rangers actually use the Staccato P as their official sidearm. This particular model that we have here, we're using an infinity flat face trigger. We also disabled the grip safety. Now the Staccato P has a 4.4-inch bull barrel. It's a lot longer than the 3.9-inch bull barrel from the Staccato C2, and it's also 1 inch shorter than the bull barrel found on the Staccato XL. The Staccato XL has a 5.4-inch bull barrel. This one uses a Dawson Precision toolless guide rod similar to the one on the XL. Staccato P and then the Staccato XL are using toolless guide rods instead of the Recoil Master because the Staccato C2 is much shorter at 3.9 inch, so it needs a different guide rod. The Staccato P, when you buy it, comes with 20 round magazines, and then it also comes with 17 round magazines similar to the Staccato XL. So what we did was we bought a bunch of these 20 rounder magazines. Absolutely perfect if you're using it as a sidearm. This one in particular, we're using it for home defense pistol. The wife loves using it. It's not too big like the Staccato XL, it's just the right size for her. Also, the recoil impulse on this it feels a lot less than the Staccato C2. A bit more than the Staccato XL, but not so much. Now, which Staccato model should you get? If you're here in the Philippines, if you have spare money, by all means, definitely go for it. I wouldn't recommend it, or if you are getting a Staccato, probably just get one. They are ridiculously overpriced here in the Philippines. So to give you an idea, these go for around ×4, ×5 US prices. Absolutely insane. Not to mention magazine availability, pretty scarce. When they are available, they are pretty expensive. If that doesn't bother you, I absolutely recommend it if you have the spare money. Now, personally speaking, we actually think that the Staccato C2 is the perfect pistol to go with. It's small enough for concealed carry. It's basically good enough to shoot fast with for competition use. We actually won a competition with this one recently, the recent Battle of the Gun Clubs that concluded back in December 2023. You could actually use it for standard division, or if you have an optic slapped on it, you could go with limited optics division. You could get the DPO version of it and slap a red dot on it. Even if you give this to a beginner shooter, they'll shoot pretty well with it versus, like, let's say a stock Glock. If you're more a competition shooter, we recommend going with the Staccato XL. Now the Staccato XL, you could either go with a 9mm or 40 Smith & Wesson, depending on what your favorite caliber is. We love 9mm, so all our guns are 9mm. If you're looking more for a serious tactical pistol, then maybe this one's for you, Staccato P. If you have the money to burn, I guess, you could use the Staccato P as your tactical sidearm. They're pretty good, pretty accurate, pretty fast, and very easy to shoot. A bit heavy than, let's say, a Glock, but they're absolutely worth it. We can't stress enough how fun they are to shoot with. If you have a friend that owns a Staccato, we suggest you try it out first, because it's a pretty big commitment with the large amount of money that you're going to be shelling out for one of these firearms. But you want quality firearms that are both reliable and easy to shoot with, we absolutely recommend Staccato. If budget's an issue, we suggest staying away from it. If you're a collector, Staccato might be a brand that you might consider adding to your collection. Not only are they fun guns to shoot with, but they also keep their value over time. Like, even though this one's used, I could still sell it for around the same price, probably a bit more considering all the upgrades on it. So they're pretty good guns to add to your collection if you're a collector. To conclude this video, there is a Staccato for everyone. Unfortunately, here in the Philippines, we don't have the newer Staccato models just yet. We don't have the Staccato CS, which is the smaller and thinner version of this one. Now, the Staccato CS would be more perfect than the C2 in terms of concealed carry. Can't get our hands on them yet anytime soon, but hopefully 2025 we get them here in the Philippines. Another Staccato model that we don't have here today is the Staccato XC. Now, the Staccato XC is around this length as well, except that instead of the barrel being all the way here, it's a compensator. Now, these are already flat shooting guns. If you add a compensator on it, they're even flatter. Now, the Staccato XC, if you're interested in getting those, they go for around 800,000 pesos, which is around $16,000 if you're buying them here in the Philippines. Other Staccato models that we don't have here today are the limited versions of the Staccato P and then the Staccato C2. Now, the limited version of the Staccato P and the Staccato C2, it's basically a Staccato P with a threaded barrel and a compensator at the end. That's the only difference. Those are slightly more expensive than these ones. They're around like 30,000 pesos more expensive than the normal models. Now, that's around $600 more expensive. We're actually planning on getting those next, so stay tuned in future videos. Hopefully this video gave you the right information, enough information actually to make the decision if whether or not you should get a Staccato here in the Philippines. And we hope that you enjoy. Stay tuned for more videos. We promise to put out more videos soon. Also, if you want to support our channel, you should visit our website at www.thebadinternational.com. The purchase that you make there, it goes towards bringing you more quality content such as this one. If you're interested in gear, tactical gear, make sure to visit the website, subscribe to our channel. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at bad.international. Follow us on Facebook at Bad International. Stay tuned and see you in the next video.